Welcome back everyone to another deep dive into the world of naval power and maritime supremacy. Today we're putting two ships under the spotlight that could not be more different in size, design, purpose, and philosophy. On one side we have the BRP Alon, a representation of the Philippine Navy's modern ambitions and its focus on coastal defense, sovereignty patrols, and regional presence. It's sleek, agile, and tailored for the archipelagic environment of the Philippines. On the other side stands the legendary USS Nimitz, one of the most iconic aircraft carriers ever built, a floating city, a symbol of American power projection that carries the might of a superpower across the world's oceans. This is a comparison of David and Goliath in naval terms, a modest but capable national ship against a global titan of warfare. But what really happens when you put these two side by side? What are their roles, their strengths, their weaknesses, and what do they tell us about the nations that built them? Stick around, because in this video we'll explore everything from the story of the BRP Alon to the incredible history of the USS Nimitz, and finally, break down just how different their missions are in the grand chessboard of the seas. Now, let us turn our attention to the USS Nimitz, a name that echoes across naval history and instantly conjures images of unmatched power at sea. This isn't just a ship, it's a floating fortress, a mobile airbase, and a symbol of the United States Navy's ability to project power anywhere on the globe. The USS Nimitz is not only one of the largest warships ever built, but also one of the most legendary. Commissioned in the mid-1970s, it represents decades of naval dominance, technological mastery, and raw capability that very few nations can even dream of matching. Imagine a vessel longer than 3 football fields, displacing over 100,000 tons, and carrying a full wing of aircraft that can strike targets hundreds of miles away. The Nimitz is essentially a moving piece of sovereign U.S. territory that can enter international waters and change the balance of power in any conflict zone it sails into. From the Cold War to the Gulf War, from peacekeeping to disaster relief, the Nimitz-class carriers have been the crown jewel of American naval strength. Every detail of the USS Nimitz screams scale. Its nuclear reactors mean it can operate for decades without refueling, giving it an endurance that smaller navies can only imagine. Its deck can support dozens of fighter jets, helicopters, and surveillance aircraft, making it the ultimate hub for air and sea dominance. And beyond its weaponry and aircraft, the Nimitz carries something perhaps even more intimidating: its crew. Thousands of sailors, aviators, and support staff live and work on this ship, making it not just a war machine but a self-contained city afloat on the oceans. For the United States, the Nimitz is more than steel and technology, it's a statement. Wherever it goes, it carries a message of deterrence, assurance, and power projection. Nations notice when a Nimitz sails into their region. Allies feel reassured, while potential adversaries are reminded of America's reach. From the Pacific to the Atlantic, from the Indian Ocean to the Mediterranean, the presence of a Nimitz has shaped geopolitics for nearly half a century. In short, the USS Nimitz is the embodiment of global naval supremacy. It's a ship designed not just to fight wars but to prevent them by simply existing as a deterrent. While smaller ships like the BRP Alon protect coastlines and national waters, the Nimitz exists to shape oceans, influence regions, and tip the scales of power wherever it sails. Now let us talk about the BRP Alon. While the name itself may not carry the same global recognition as the mighty Nimitz, the ship represents something far more important for the Philippines: a step forward in naval modernization and self-reliance. The BRP Alon is not about global domination or massive firepower. It's about guarding the nation's vast archipelago, ensuring sovereignty in contested waters, and protecting vital sea lanes that connect the Philippines to the rest of the world. Think about the Philippines for a moment: more than 7,000 islands, scattered across one of the most strategic maritime regions in the entire Indo-Pacific. That geography demands ships that are fast, flexible, and capable of multiple roles. The BRP Alon symbolizes exactly that. It is designed to patrol shallow coastal waters as easily as it can navigate deeper seas. It can provide surveillance, conduct search and rescue missions, and stand guard against piracy or intrusion. For a country with limited defense budgets but growing maritime challenges, this ship is a beacon of how smart design and strategic choices can compensate for scale. The BRP Alon is also about national pride. Every time it sails, it sends a message that the Philippines is no longer content with outdated equipment or second-hand vessels handed down from larger navies. Instead, it's about stepping into a new era where the Philippine Navy asserts itself as a capable maritime force. The Alon might not carry dozens of fighter jets on its deck, but it carries something equally important: the confidence of a nation to defend its waters and stand tall in a region filled with great power rivalries. When you see the Alon in action, you immediately understand its role. It doesn't try to be something it's not. It's not built for massive invasions or long-range global patrols. It's built to serve the Filipino people directly, from disaster relief to maritime patrols, from sovereignty missions in the West Philippine Sea to protecting fishermen in their traditional grounds. That's where its strength lies. It's a ship born from necessity, crafted for the reality of the Philippines' maritime environment, and a symbol of the country's determination to safeguard its future on the seas. Now comes the part you've all been waiting for: the comparison. And to be fair, putting the BRP Alon next to the USS Nimitz almost feels like comparing a speedboat to a floating city. But that's where the magic of naval analysis lies. Because while the two ships are galaxies apart in size, mission, and firepower, each represents a very specific role in its navy, and understanding that role is what makes this matchup fascinating. Let's start with size. The USS Nimitz displaces over 100,000 tons. The BRP Alon, by contrast, barely makes a dent in that figure. It's a fraction of the carrier's weight. The Nimitz is longer than 3 football fields, towering above the waterline, while the Alon is sleek, compact, and designed for fast maneuvers around the shallow waters of the Philippine archipelago. If the two sailed side by side, the Alon would look like a tender boat next to the towering hull of the Nimitz. Then there's capability. The USS Nimitz carries an air wing of 60 to 70 aircraft, everything from F/A-18 Super Hornets to electronic warfare planes and helicopters. That means it doesn't just fight at sea, it projects air power across hundreds of miles, striking targets deep inland. The BRP Alon, meanwhile, is built for patrol, surveillance, and defense. It doesn't have fighter jets on deck. Instead, it carries smaller weapons systems tailored for coastal defense, search and rescue, and sovereignty patrols. For the Philippines, that makes sense. Why spend billions on a carrier when your main challenge is safeguarding territorial waters and exclusive economic zones? Endurance is another key factor. The Nimitz, with its nuclear reactors, can operate for decades without refueling. It can circle the globe without worrying about fuel, relying only on supply ships for food and logistics. The BRP Alon, on the other hand, is conventionally powered and designed for shorter missions. But again, that's not a weakness, it's a reflection of its purpose. The Alon doesn't need to circle the world, it needs to stay vigilant in the West Philippine Sea, near the coastlines, and in regional waters where speed and agility matter more than global range. But here's the twist: if we think of them in terms of cost and efficiency, the Alon has an edge of its own. The Nimitz is a financial behemoth, costing billions to build and millions more to maintain every single day at sea. The BRP Alon is far more affordable, making it a sustainable option for a developing navy. It's like comparing a luxury jet to a practical commuter car. Both serve their masters well, but they serve in very different ways. And let us not forget symbolism. When the BRP Alon sails, it represents the determination of a developing nation to defend its sovereignty against larger powers. It's about national pride and resilience. When the USS Nimitz sails, it represents global dominance, the might of a superpower, and the ability to alter the balance of power in entire regions. Both ships are symbols, one of resilience and sovereignty, the other of supremacy and deterrence. So, what happens if the BRP Alon and USS Nimitz ever crossed paths in terms of raw firepower? There's no contest. The Nimitz could overwhelm the Alon in minutes. But that's not the point. These ships are never meant to face each other as enemies. They're designed for entirely different missions. The Nimitz dominates oceans, the Alon safeguards a nation's coastlines. Together, they tell us an important truth about modern naval power: not every ship needs to be a giant. Some need to be guardians of the homeland, while others need to be guardians of the world. In the end, comparing the BRP Alon to the USS Nimitz isn't about asking which one would win in battle. It's about understanding how two ships, so vastly different, are equally essential to their navies and the futures of their nations. One is David, the other is Goliath, and both play their parts in shaping the story of the seas.